We're all feeling the pain of inflation. The cost of our most basic foods are high. We've already seen our power bills go up, and they're saying that it might go up another 60 to 80%. The PSC regulates services that are critically important to Montanans, such as keeping power costs available while keeping your lights on, keeping your water running, railroads and pipelines protected, and garbage disposed of. So the most important of the PSC roles to me is their authority to regulate and oversee power monopolies and water districts. Almost every vital component of our life revolves around being able to have access to energy and water. And we know that energy security is needed for national security, and most of you might know that we are a power exporter. Montana, we export to other states, we export to other countries. We used to export more than 50%, now it's less than that. But anyway, we are a powerhouse. So I've listened to countless hours of PSC deliberations, including their adjudicating between attorneys for the monopolies and attorneys for the consumers. And I listened to it more than once. There was one of these meetings, it was the beginning of April, and I listened to both sides, the attorneys kind of hash it out, and then the PSC members adjudicated in favor of the consumer based on law and the evidence presented to them. So that was exciting to me. My passion for this position on PSC is proportional to my passion for keeping Montana energy independent, and also my passion for being in a position where I can advocate for all Montanans. On my campaign website, I list some Montana energy facts, and Montana is per capita the second largest consumer of energy in the nation, so per capita, second only to North Dakota. So part of that, I mean, we're talking per capita, we have a sparse population, and it gets cold in the winter. So we are the second largest consumer of power in the country. We have to have power, we have to have water. So fortunately, Montana has abundant natural resources for producing power, enough to match the needs of consumers even as our population in Montana increases in size. Montana is number 1 in coal reserves in the whole nation. It's number 7 in hydroelectric, and if there weren't so many lawsuits, because I'm sure we could probably be number 1 or 2 in hydroelectric if there wasn't so much fighting against us on that. We are in the top 10 in the nation for renewable sources of power. We're in the top 10. And a lot of that is because of hydroelectric, which is really the ultimate green source of energy. So we have all the power producing natural resources we will ever need to remain energy independent. Unfortunately, over time, due to lawsuits and other types of mischief, Montanans have had their access to these resources curtailed. 2 of the coal plants were shut down, and now they're trying to shut down some of the hydroelectric because something having to do with the fish being more important than humans. And I'm not saying by any means that the PSC alone can protect our future access to power and water, but begging God's intervention and working with legislators, the governor, our attorney general, I believe Montana energy independence can be secured. I thoroughly believe that, especially the begging God's intervention part. What I can say for sure is that I am not and never will be beholden to any special interests, whether it's environmentalists or monopolistic special interests. I'm committing to make Montanans the number 1 most important special interest group ever. So I'm going to talk a little about how and why I came to this decision to run for this PSC position. I'm going to share with you how I made that decision, because I've never considered running for public office before, even though I've been asked by many people over the years to run for office. I've never even considered it. And then 4 days before the deadline, I filed. And the night before I filed, I tossed and turned all night. I could not sleep, and it's because of I was not comfortable with any of the people that were running for this position. And then in my morning prayer, after tossing and turning all night and reaching out to God, I heard in my spirit very clearly, you do it. Now with those candidates, it's nothing personal against them, but suffice it to say, my concerns were enough to toss and turn all night, and then I got a very clear message that next morning that I need to run for this office. So I said, okay, And since that decision, everything I've learned about this PSC position, everything that I've learned about the energy situation, it resonates with my being, with my heart and my mind, that I made the right decision.